Hey, hey, welcome to Have a Seat with Lana Halla Miriam. That's me. It's Halla Miriam. People get all freaked out by my last name. It's really quite simple. Um, I'm talking today about success, this thing that we call success. And first, we're going to talk about how we define it, but then we're going to talk about those haters. I'm learning that there are a lot of people that want to define success for me. You ever had that happen to you? hmm Yeah. So first, I'm going to open up with just a little story. So um, I realized after paper chasing for probably 10 years of my life that money didn't make me happy. The pursuit of money didn't make me happy. I just wasn't into it. I was good at it. I was good at making money, but it didn't bring me joy. Like I always felt like something was missing, right? And no matter how much money I got, that void was never filled. So um, eventually I got a job in ministry and I worked for a particular church in Maryland. And I just fell in love with like people. I figured out that I don't hate people. I actually love people. I'm really curious about people. Um, I like sharing joys and pains with people. I like to help people. I particularly have a passion for young people, right? And it doesn't matter if it's a little baby or a teenager. I just have a heart for young people. I have a heart, deeply care about both of them. So I was like, okay, well, that means that that means that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to pursue my passion. Well, how many of you know that ministry is not the get rich quick scheme? Mm, okay, I mean, I got paid a decent wage, but there was no way I was going to be financially independent or wealthy, and I thought that's what you were supposed to be. Everybody's supposed to be going for wealth, right? We all supposed to be financially independent. If you still work for the man, then you are in chains and you're a slave to the system. Everybody always has something to say about what you're supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be going, and what makes sense for me. And so I realized I fell in love with people. I fell in love with helping. I got connected to the work. I love nonprofit world, but it's just not where the money is. You know what I'm saying? This is my get rich slow scheme, if anything, right? And what I realized is I do want financial independence for myself. I don't need to be, Beyonce and Jay Z and Rihanna wealthy. I don't need hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars to make me feel like I've achieved something as far as success. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about if I if my car breaks down, I don't want to have to be making life-changing decisions on whether I'm gonna get it fixed. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I just want to go get the car fixed and not think about it and not worry about it. And I have to price check three different shops to just get the car damn fixed. You know, that's what I mean when I say financial independence. Just that I can do and pursue the things that matter to me without feeling like it's about to be a financial detriment to me. That's all I wanted. And so once I defined that for myself, I was able to clarify what it is I really, really, really want. And so, what I really, really, really want is for me to be able to help people, for me to be able to do work that's meaningful, or to help people do work that's meaningful. I get less satisfaction out of helping someone make more money than I do helping someone change the world. And so those are the kinds of people, those game changers, those life changers, that's who I want to work with. And that doesn't mean that if you're a for profit that I'm not passionate about working for you, because for example, I'm very passionate about systemic racism. Well, when it comes to the banking industry and redlining and preventing access for people of color to get into home ownership, as we know, is the pathway to wealth. If I can work with a bank, right, on breaking down those barriers within themselves that can create more openings for people of color to have access to mortgages and loans and business loans and stuff like that, then to me, that's meaningful work. Does that make sense? Even though the bank is making jillions and jillions of dollars. Okay. So just something to think about, right? And once I clarified that for myself, I thought to myself, okay, how can I take the thing that I love, the thing that motivates me? Because the thing is that, passion is one thing. Yes, I'm passionate about young people. I'm passionate about people. I'm passionate about helping, right? But it's not the passion by itself that matters. It's what that passion motivates you to do, what it inspires you to push toward or through. And that's the key with passion. It's not the passion itself. Everybody has a passion for something. Maybe they just haven't identified it yet, right? But passion alone is not going to get us places. It's what that passion does to our tank. It puts gas in our tank and it makes the car go, right? So I use that passion to push me into thinking of ways, how can I get this feeling that I feel out there to more people? And that is what got me to building the building blocks to wealth for myself. You know, um, am I there yet? No. Will I ever be? Maybe. Because the closer you get to it, then it's like the more you want, or the more you can see, right? And so you push a little bit more, push a little bit more, push a little bit more, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? um it's not that I'm never satisfied, it's that I'm always inspired. That's how I like to think about it. So when I parlay what makes me successful helping people, and also um, enjoying financial independence, right? How can I help people in a way that is valuable to me, like it's worth my time, efforts, and energy? When I put those two pieces together and I don't have to be there every time I'm helping someone, that's how I start those building blocks to financial independence and to wealth, right? Whenever your physical presence is not attached to the money that's coming in, that's how you know you're getting independence, right? Because you don't have to be there. Does that make sense? So if you can figure that out for yourself, then you're on your way, right? Okay, so I defined this for myself. Let's just say I defined this for myself, and then I ended up sharing it with a few people, right? You were probably already like, Lana, see, that's where you went wrong. That's where you went wrong. Well, I mean, it's healthy to share your thoughts and ideas with people that you know, love, and trust. But even people that you know, love, and trust sometimes are not on the same page as you. And so when that happens, that's when it can kind of throw you off a bit, right? And so I went and I shared, I love helping people. It's not about the money for me, which it isn't. It's about the independence for me. And, people would say things like, oh, well, that sounds good. Or how can it not be about the money? Everything is about money. Um, Or the little like sarcastic, dry comments like, that's good for you. Anybody ever gotten any of those? Or they just start questioning you. Are you sure? I mean, there's got to be something behind it. Or they just start finding ways to make you money from whatever you said, right? Like you needed help, like you asked for assistance, like there was a problem to solve. There's no problem to solve. I'm telling you, this is what success looks like for me. It doesn't have to match what you think success is for you. I'm just telling you, this is what it is for me. And it would be nice if you not only could appreciate it, but respect it or like value it, right? You don't have to agree, but you can appreciate and value something that you don't necessarily agree with. So that was that conversation. And then I quickly realized that this conversation is not meant to be had with anyone. It's part of the reason why I created this podcast. You know, as women, but most particularly as Black women, I feel like we are just criticized so much more than any other group. Any other group. I can only speak to the United States, even though I've lived in a few other countries. I've spent the majority of my life living in the United States. And so I can speak to United States culture and honestly say that I believe the Black woman is the most highly criticized being in the United States. And that's said because when we go when we go to do something, there's more doubt. And I think women in general, you don't have to be black, right? I think women in general would feel this way whenever we go to do something or say something. And that's why a lot of us do one of two things, right? We either are constantly talking about what we're going to do because it's this overcompensation, right? I know I'm going to be criticized. People are going to think I'm not doing anything, or people are going to be critical. So I'm going to just keep talking and keep talking and just keep talking about what I'm going to do. Or it's the other side, which a lot of black women do, which is we keep it to ourselves. We keep it to ourselves. We move in silence, right? And I move in silence because my mother taught me that. She was like, don't show your hand. That was her famous saying. Don't show your hand. If you're making moves and you're making big moves, just do them in silence. Don't show your hand. Don't show your hand implies that you're playing a card game. And if you show your hand, you're going to lose the game because then someone else will know what you're about to play, right? And so that's how I grew up thinking about moving in silence. Now I move in silence, but more selectively. I intentionally share my moves with certain people that I've already deemed as safe, right? And then I keep it quiet with the rest of them. Why? Because they hate me. People are just haters. They don't mean to be. They don't mean to be. They just don't know nothing else. That's what we do in this country. If it doesn't fit in my box as to what I believe or what I know, then it's wrong. And so now I'm going to be critical of you. I'm going to judge you. I'm going to say some sideways stuff to you because I just don't get it. I can't relate to it. It doesn't make sense to me. Right. So a lot of us are unintentional haters. And the collateral damage of an unintentional hater is big, y'all. Unintentional haters crush dreams, man. They cause insecurities. Y'all hurt feelings. And I say y'all, but I've probably been an unintentional hater before. And if you're honest, you probably have too. So when you define success for yourself, just be careful. Just be careful of who the haters are. And I'm not telling you move in silence 100% of the time. I'm also definitely not saying, blab to the world everything that you have planned or going on. Define who you are for yourself. Decide what success looks like for you. What makes you feel good? Don't you want to feel good doing stuff the rest of your life? It's worth it. It's worth it to feel good. It's too many miserable people working in jobs and doing stuff just in the name of money and paying bills. You get to feel good. You just have to choose it. So once I chose and I decided success for me is helping people, helping nonprofits and helping people who are doing good work. Once I decided that that's my lane, then I figured out a way to monetize my lane rather than going and chasing out the paper, chasing the money every time it came up. It creates chaos within yourself. You have a true north, right? You have a true north. You have a place in your heart and your mind and your spirit where it all aligns. And it is connected not just to family, not just to friends, but also to your chosen profession. Everything can line up. It can. You just have to do the work. Figure out what success is for you. Typically, if you lean into what makes you feel good, you'll get closer to it. Once you name it and define it, then you figure out how to monetize that or how to make it happen without you being there. That's another way of saying it, right? How to make it happen without you having to be there. And that is how you get financially independent. When you have to show up or be a certain place in order to make money, that is not financial independence. I don't care how many hundreds of thousands of dollars you're making, you're still kind of chained to the money that you're making, right? But if you can figure out, this is what makes me feel good, this is what success looks like to me, this is where I'm meant to be, and you can figure out that door, how to monetize that, that's how you get financial independence. Right. And you don't even have to feel great about it all the time. Just something that makes you feel good, something you can believe in. Okay. So I have another show about how to actually figure out ways to monetize or separate yourself from the having to be present to make the money. But the more important conversation is to figure out what success looks like for yourself. And good grief, stop letting other people dictate that for you. Right. I call those people unintentional haters. Okay, some of them are intentional, but I think most of us are unintentional haters. We just don't know any better because that's all, it's just too different. What you're doing is too different for a lot of people, and they're going to hate on it if you let them. So just be cautious, be selective, move in silence when it's appropriate, and share when it's appropriate. And we can also figure that out later when we have a conversation about who to trust. All right, thanks for tuning in. It's been real. We've been having a seat together, and I appreciate you. Go ahead and follow me. I will show you the next screen because all of y'all act like you can't spell my last name, but you can. But it's at Lana Hallamariam on Instagram, and I will connect with you then.